My name's Julie Cairnes and I'm a life mastery and conscious creation coach. Welcome to the InnerPeace Masterclass, and today we have with us Dr. Darren Weissman. Dr. Darren Weissman is a chiropractic holistic physician and developer of the Lifeline Technique, and also a best-selling author. He's written The Power of Infinite Love and Gratitude, Awakening to the Secret Code of Your Mind, The Daily Lessons of Infinite Love and Gratitude, and The Heart of the Matter. He's also a contributing author to Dr. Masaru Emoto's best-selling book, The Healing Power of Water. And I don't always mention the names of all books, and you may have more, but I want to talk with you about your books because I know your work lies within these books. So today we're going to ask Dr. Darren to share the truth about the relationship between the conscious and the subconscious mind. So welcome, Dr. Darren, to the InnerPeace Masterclass.
Thanks so much. Infinite love and gratitude, Julie. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, mutual. Wow. So I think one of the first things I'd like to talk to you about is just how you got to the work you're doing. I know you're doing the Lifeline Technique, which I'd like to talk to you more about. But how did you get to that? I believe you developed in 2002. I might be wrong, but... Yeah.
You know, I think my journey, like a lot of people who are in this consciousness and in this realm, began with my own internal struggles, physically, emotionally. I was a sick kid. I was sick as a child and, just struggled with my immune system, with asthma, allergies, multiple surgeries with tubes in my ears, tonsils and adenoids taken out, shots in my arms every week. It was, I hated it. And as a kid, I thought, man, I would really love to find another way for kids to discover health, even though my family only knew what they knew, no blame, but, we were part of the medical realm, taking a pill for every symptom. And so I went that route, and not knowing about holistic medicine until my sophomore year in college, when I was taking pre-med classes. My brother was in a car accident and went the medical route. The pain pills and anti-inflammatories and muscle relaxers weren't doing it for him, and he went to a chiropractor. Right. And it helped him. And he called me up. He said, Darren, I don't know why, but I really think that this is going to be the profession for you. And never being to a chiropractor, not knowing what it's all about, I am definitely a go-getter person. So I called every chiropractor in the town that I was studying, and I said, I'm looking to find out about it. And I finally found one that said, hey, help me move my office. I'll teach you about it. I learned about just this natural approach of keeping the nervous system in balance, and it just made sense, and got into a beautiful school and discovered acupuncture while I was in school, and studied acupuncture at the same time as my chiropractic degree, and took that to a whole other level where I studied in Sri Lanka, in Beijing, and my heart opened up, Julie, and I started learning all these amazing natural ways to heal. Yeah. Applied kinesiology, total body modification, neuroemotional technique, neuro-linguistic programming, all these really cool processes. And I had a thought in my mind that there's got to be a way to bridge together these different modalities of natural healing. They all are so beautiful and amazing, but on one level, if they're not working together, they contradict each other. It's like there's so many cooks in the kitchen. And my friend, Dr. Tom Bain, and I, we called it the big idea. And on June 17, 2002, I had a download. Literally, I awoke to the Lifeline Technique flowchart. In a moment, about 8:30 at night, I had a vision, and I yelled to my girlfriend, who's now my wife of 3 kids, get me a pen and paper. And in about 40 minutes later, I had drawn out this flowchart.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's an amazing story.
It's so cool. And what I recognized is that as much as I love to adjust people and I love to stick needles in people and discover the proper homeopathic remedy and all kinds of things.
Yeah.
I realized that at the core of why people suffer physically, emotionally, there's these memories that get stuck in our subconscious mind, and they get stuck in this loop. And when they get triggered, the memory becomes our present time reality, and we end up repeating history. And that could be the body expressing itself with allergies and asthma, cancer, diabetes, or people suffering with addiction or other aspects of ritualistic types of patterns, obsessive compulsive, where we live a life of reaction and fear. And yeah, that's the essence of the journey of how I got to the Lifeline.
You know, that's fascinating. I'm interested to hear how people get drawn to certain modalities they're working with, because someone else had a similar thing where they had a very life-opening and heart-opening experience with something, with another modality. And it's really interesting. It's almost, we wonder how we get that experience comes to us, because then your whole future path goes down there. And it's really interesting when you talk about the flowchart download. It reminds me, who was it, the person who developed the sewing machine needle? Who was that? I don't know. But he had a dream about someone threading a spear, a hole in a spear. And then he woke up. That was the missing link in the sewing machine.
Oh, that's amazing.
Where does it come from? We know it comes from elsewhere. Or maybe our higher self. It's very fascinating how we get this information download that comes to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's the cool part.
Yeah.
That night, before I woke up to the Lifeline, about 6 o'clock, I was hanging out with my friend Tom and his wife Ingrid and Sarita and I. And Ingrid said to Tom and I, "So have you come up with the big idea yet?" Because we had been talking about it.
Right.
And we're both like, "No, we haven't come up with it." And she said, "You know what? You guys talk about this big idea, but the only thing that I've got is a big credit card bill, because every time you guys get together, you go out, you have these fancy meals and different things like that." She goes, "Darren, do you want to know the truth?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "Do you want to know the truth of why you haven't awoken to this big idea?" And I'm like, "Wow, what are you talking about, Ingrid?" I'm like, she was really facing me with it. And I'm like, "Yeah, I want to know the truth." But my heart was beating so hard in my chest. She goes, "The reason you have not come up with this big idea is because you're just too afraid of how powerful it will be."
Wow.
And so, and I was like, she hit me right in the heart. And it literally was a moment, Julie, of faith meeting fear.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that my faith won, and that I was courageous enough to really follow this path, because the essence of this, intricate system is based upon simplicity.
Yes.
It's based upon this hand posture. And do you know what this hand posture means?
It has many different meanings. Let's see what yours. I know it's a mudra, a Buddhist mudra. So what would you say from you?
Well, what's so interesting is I didn't know it was a Buddhist mudra when I found out what it was.
Yeah.
This is "I love you" in American Sign Language.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah. It's "I love you." And so the entire system's about love. It's about, in this posture, this mudra, which emanates a vibration and an energy, is used with the words and intention of infinite love and gratitude.
Yes.
And the essence of my passion and my purpose, which is the Lifeline, is a vision of world peace through inner peace. That if we are going to make a difference in the world, it's not about changing the world. As Einstein said, the same mind that causes a problem won't solve a problem. We've got to do our own inner work. And when we do our own inner work, we can then be a light in the world and actually show that there's a path for others that they can walk as well. And that's the essence.
And that's really relevant to the work that Dr. Masaru Emoto did also with water. I mean, I so love his work very deeply. And I know you're a contributing author to his book. And when you think about the work he did that showed the impact of the actual, it's not even the thought, it's almost like the vibration that's coming from your heart into the thought. because the thought carries the energy, affects the cellular structure of the water, which is what we're made of. And so it's just, it's a very profound message to humanity. And I don't know if humanity has quite, many do, I can't generalize, but if people kind of realize the impact and what is the ramifications of changing our thoughts towards each other, because our cellular structure is, and the more sensitive you are, the more you feel the thoughts impacting on our cellular bodies because of that kind of field of energy. So it's almost like we're going to be needing to take more and more responsibility, the more and more sensitive we get for our thoughts towards each other. And that's an interesting area to go into, because it's, some people want concrete, but this is very much about energy, subtle energies towards each other.
Well, all concrete is vibrational frequency that's slowed down. So, you can want concrete, but the ultimate essence of life is that we are energy and everything is vibration.
Yeah.
Everything is light and everything is sound. And so to create a change in the matter of our mind, of our body, of our relationships, of our world, it's important that we raise our consciousness.
Yeah.
The key of change is being able to perceive something rather than as a problem, as a doorway into the next greatest version of ourselves. Absolutely.
Yeah. And can you tell us a little bit more? I want to talk to you about the Lifeline Technique, because that is the work that you've developed. So I wonder if you can actually open up a little to the viewers here, because there are a few things that I did see. I don't know how deeply you're prepared to talk about some of the actual coursework you're doing, because I know people can study the Lifeline Technique as well. But
I'll talk about anything you want to talk about, my friend.
Great, I have some questions for you. But if you could just start with the basis of the Lifeline Technique, which I believe is about intentionally changing the emotional programs of the subconscious mind.
Yeah, it's like, question, what is the Lifeline Technique? It's a manifestation system. So it's a step-by-step process for manifesting one's reality, whether it be optimal health, balance, purpose. And it empowers people to choose love in the face of fear.
Yeah.
It allows people to take action in the face of reaction. And what it does is it harmonizes emotions with intention. It empowers people to set intention so that they can process emotions and raise the vibration of their emotions. And why this is important, why people need this, is that we live in a completely reactive world. We have a completely reactive mind. We have a reactive body.
Yeah. Everything
about life is reactive. The subconscious mind, the other name for it is the reactive mind.
Right.
It's not choosing, it's not judging, it's not attached to an outcome. Mm-hmm. And so if it gets triggered, like the blink of your beautiful eyes, it just blinks. Your heart beats, your lungs breathe. You can blink your eyes on purpose, but that's kind of weird. It's like you don't need to do that, yeah. Right? You can run and make your heart go faster, but you know what? There is an energy field that is orchestrating our body, and that is the subconscious mind. And the Lifeline is a process for literally unzipping the fabric of the energy of consciousness that is who we are, and reprogramming the patterns of fear, of self-destruct, of judgment that we have towards ourselves or others in any way. And the vision of it, as I was saying, is world peace through inner peace, one person at a time. That's the essence of it. It's a 16-step process based upon my life's work that anybody can use as a daily practice or self-mastery. There's not a day that goes by that I don't run at least one Lifeline session with myself, let alone with other people. So the application of it, Julie, is really cool. You can do a self session and have a relationship with your own subconscious mind. if someone's suffering, struggling with, let me just think about a situation today. So I had a woman who came in to see me today, chronic pain in her neck, headaches. She's gotten shingles 8 times. Her nervous system is so sensitive. Her immune system is really in such a tough place. And it was wild. So I used the Lifeline Technique. It was actually her birthday today. It was really fun. It was her first session she ever had. And she came on in. She was like an 8 out of 10 pain, feeling fear and anxiety and stress about her daughter. After we finished the session was about 45 minutes, an hour. The pain in her body was gone. She felt light as a feather. The thing that was stressing her out, she was like, that's not stressful for me anymore. You and we can change the emotional programs. And what I've come to understand is this: the most important thing a human being could ever learn is to be intentional and process emotions.
Right.
To be intentional. And so many people struggle when it comes to their emotional reality and being intentional. We intend to be intentional, but we're not always so intentional. Oftentimes we're just reacting to reactions, wondering why am I in this same place again and again. It goes on in our own lives, in our families, in our communities, all throughout the world.
Yeah, and I think it's really kind of pertinent at the moment, because I think the whole thing of inner peace and peace, we are confronted with people who have been possibly perpetrated against at some point, and it can be about resetting boundaries in your life. And very much the Vipassana technique of meditation, where you're observing your reactions, because the reactions do come and go. They're not about stopping the reaction, but it's about observing it more objectively and going and maybe just taking a step back and looking at it and letting it pass through you as an energy. But it's about I think a lot of the questions people are asking now, yes, I can do that, but how do we deal with hostile presence in front of us? Again, we can come into that place within ourselves of observing our reaction, but do you kind of have really good grounding strategies for people dealing with hostile energies or angry energies or aggressive energies towards them?
In my second book, it's called Awakening to the Secret Code of Your Mind, Your Mind's Journey to Inner Peace. There's a story from a woman from Australia, actually. Her and her husband were home, and they had a home invader attempting to break into their front door. Yeah. While they were in, and this man was barging in, and they were attempting to call the police. They're freaking out. They're so scared. And she's in her mind. She's like, call the police. She's thinking the police aren't going to get here quick enough. He's pounding harder on the door. I'm going to have to grab a knife. And he says, I realized I've got to choose love right now. And so check this out. He's on the other side of the door pounding, and she starts yelling, infinite love and gratitude, infinite love and gratitude, infinite love and gratitude, infinite love and gratitude. And the pounding gets softer, and then it stops. The police come. They find this guy in a fetal position on the front lawn, just crying.
Wow.
Handcuffed him, took him away. When people are bad people, and everyone's done bad things, we all do, right?
That's an amazing story. That is amazing.
Oh yeah, it is amazing. But I'll tell you something.
Yeah.
The part of a person that is in a perpetrator mode, first and foremost, was a victim at one point.
Absolutely.
And so we are all one, and it's very, it's easy to point fingers, but at one point, how do we begin to heal? Yeah. The core of the mind that wants to hurt someone else is a little boy or a little girl that didn't have tools to process emotions, didn't have support to process emotions. And when you can reach that point, and it's so easy in the Lifeline to reach that point and raise its vibration, boom. That was in the moment, just courageous move on her part.
Yeah. And went right into him, right into his
soul.
Yeah, I was going to say the crack in the soul.
Wide open.
To the bit where he was broken, it went, yeah, wow.
Yeah, that was amazing. So
it'd be interesting to know more about that story, like where he ended up later on. But anyway, that's
I wish I knew.
That's profound. Can I ask you? There are two questions. There are. First of all, I'd just like to ask you one: what is the truth question? Are you prepared to talk about that? That's part of the work you do with people. I was interested to find out more. Yeah,
for sure. Here's the thing. Step number 2 of the Lifeline technique is about setting intention.
Right.
Step number 1 is about becoming present in the moment. It's called the connection. Step number 2 is about being intentional. Well, there's 4 steps to being intentional. And the second step is called the truth question. And so I think a better way to answer the question is to lead you into it, to show you what it is. Okay, are you open to that?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. Go for it.
So check it out, Julie. Connect to your body and be honest. Connect to the physical symptoms of your body.
Yeah.
Connect to the ways that your body's speaking to you, things that if you could heal in your body, you'd be so grateful. Is your body speaking to you with any physical symptoms that you're comfortable talking about or no?
Sure, I have had something over the last couple of days that's been a bit of an eye-opener in some ways, so I'm happy to talk about it.
What is, just give me a name of it.
I had a middle ear infection in both my ears, and I started not being able to hear people.
And as far as that middle ear infection, just to appreciate where you're at, if you were to rate it on a scale of 0 to 10, 10's the worst, 0's nothing, what do you rate it?
It was 4 or 5. It wasn't terrible. I've heard people have terrible pain with them. I just had a bad headache, but my hearing was going,
Okay. So I'm just gonna do one symptom, because usually when I'm working with people, I get every symptom that their body speaks with. Now I want you to connect to your life. Connect to your personal, professional, family life. And in this moment, once again, be honest with yourself. Connect to what it is about your life that causes you to be stressed. Now, you'll immediately begin to think about whatever it is or whoever it is. You don't have to talk about it. The Lifeline's non-content. But the only thing that I want to know is, as you think about what's happening in your life that's causing you to be stressed, what emotion does it cause you to feel?
A bit of anxiety, I would say.
And if you were to rate the anxiety on a scale of 0 to 10, 10's the worst, 0's nothing, what do you rate it?
It shifts. When I'm kind of waking up, I would say I could feel it profoundly, because then I'm kind of less blocking my own emotions. So I could wake up feeling it more strongly than right now, where it's muted and it would be like a 2 or a 3, almost not very present at all. But yeah, it's when I'm kind of waking from a dream, I will wake up immediately with what's worrying me at the moment.
And what do you rate it?
Then I could rate it probably a 6.5 or a 6, but not for long, because I do know how to get a grip.
Well, good for you. That's wonderful. But I want to ask you a question now.
Okay.
And we call this the $1 million question, otherwise known as the truth question. If you were given the opportunity, Julie, where you could create your life a day or even a moment, would you choose to create your life feeling anxiety 2, 3 out of 10, 6 out of 10? Would you choose to create your life with a middle ear infection where it was hard to hear, where you couldn't hear people?
No, absolutely not.
The answer is hell no.
Yeah.
So the reason why this is a truth question is that everybody answers it the same way. Now, it might seem like this is a stupid question, but let's listen to this. When you're aware of something, you're conscious of it. You have a choice. Only when you're aware and are conscious, do you have a choice? If you're not aware of something, you do not have a choice. When you're aware of something that you would never choose, of course not, that's not your active mind, that's your reactive mind. And that reactive mind is your subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind speaks with symptoms and stressors.
Yeah.
Not to victimize you, but to wake you up, Julie. These symptoms and stressors are a conversation that are awakening you to the next greatest version of yourself. And the third step that we would do after you answer the truth question is now you would set an intention, because every lifeline is about being intentional. Right. But so many people, we live in a life where we judge, oh man, anxiety. You know, in all reality, the anxiety that you're feeling, I think it's actually a bit higher if you were even more honest with yourself, but whatever you put it at, it's totally fine. The reality of it is that we all have massive emotions all the time. Yeah. There are so many disgusting things going on in this world that are horrific and absolutely crazy. Nobody chooses this, but our choice, how we respond. That's the great news. Yeah. We have the ability to respond. Most people are not responding. Most people are focusing on what they don't want or what they want to make go away. And when you're focusing on what you don't want or you want to get rid of, that's not an action. That's still a reaction. It just keeps Groundhog Day going. So we've got to be courageous, right, my friends? We've got to be courageous, and we've got to choose love in the face of fear and focus where we're going and be true to ourselves if we want to create an inner peace and therefore influence peace around us.
Beautiful. Yeah. And literally in my case was about hearing the message, and my hearing is back. I did hear the message. But thank you. Yeah, it is profound. Our bodies do talk, and you do say it is very complex sometimes for people to understand what the message is that's coming through. I mean, I kind of do usually understand what it's saying. My body's very symbolic and speaks really clearly to me. But I'm just wondering, sometimes it might be hard for some people to unravel. It's like also sometimes getting spiritual messages from out there. You don't always, it can take a while to kind of unravel and go, what does this mean?
You know, in all reality, nobody knows what's in their subconscious mind. Yeah. No one knows. No one knows. And, you know, I work with the most intuitive people around the world, and we don't know what's in our subconscious mind. And it's not about knowing it and then all of a sudden I'm better. It really isn't. It's literally about creating a relationship with your subconscious where it's a practice of raising its consciousness. I don't even know how to say it any different, but the reality of it, it's really simple. This is what it is. Infinite love and gratitude. And we're looking for reflexes that cause us to react, that cause our nervous system to shut down. And when it does, there's ways that we can take ancient and just modern day applications of things to shift our consciousness and therefore influence the health of our body, affect the way we think, affect the way we feel, influence ourselves.
Yeah, sounds like you have some powerful keys in your hands. I'm wondering, you do talk about the 2 golden rules. Are the 2 golden rules related to infinite love and gratitude, or are they separate golden rules?
It's actually, I just actually said them.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. The first golden rule is focus where you're going, not what you're getting away from or what you want to make go away. You didn't choose middle ear infection. You don't choose the anxiety. The key is, what do you choose in the face of it?
Yeah.
You know, what do you choose in the face of it?
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, in the face of anxiety, what does your heart desire to feel?
Peace, always.
Bingo. And so the second golden rule is, once you know what your heart desires, that intention as if you're already there. And if you were already there, you could use the 2 most powerful words, I am. And you could say, I am peace. I am peace. And even though, you know, right now, man, I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling frustrated, that's okay. In the beginning is the word, and we start just with the word, and we let the universe hear that we're showing up. I'm peace, I'm peace. And then we go into the next stage, which now we use our imagination to create mind medicine, to create feelings. When we feel, we heal. So there's a whole process. And here's the cool part. You're not going to get this overnight. You know this is a process. It's a very unique process, but it's common sense. The concept of let's get present. Maybe we meditate. Maybe we do a connection where we activate our energy centers, our power centers.
Yeah.
To observe ourselves. I think that's really one of the most significant differences. Most people don't view their bodies and their lives as a portal to the next greatest version of themselves. Most people go, man, why does my body speak to me with this disease? Why am I fat? Why am I this? Why am I that? Oh God, my skin. We judge ourselves rather than are looking for the signs that our body and life give us. And it's not about making these symptoms and stressors go away. It's about learning how to raise the consciousness of them.
And do you yourself have a personal practice that you do on a daily basis to keep yourself grounded and centered?
Yeah. Every day when I wake up,
yeah,
I run a Lifeline session while I'm still in my bed.
Yeah.
Get myself connected and observe, because I wake up and I'm like, wow, where did this anxiety come from? And everybody has it.
Yeah.
Everybody has it. Everybody has things that happen throughout the day. Yeah. Like, God, I wish I would have done this differently. Or, man, I didn't take time to eat lunch and I'm feeling a little sluggish because my blood sugar's up.
Yeah.
We start to really become a fine-tuned being because we have a practice. Life is all about practice, not about perfect. It's about every day just doing our best and learning and growing, in this journey.
So I agree that lying in bed and doing that practice, I have a personal practice I do as I'm waking up too, because I often do, I don't know there's a lot of global energies that if you're sensitive, you pick up on them, plus your own personal stuff swimming around. So yeah, I think it is really great to start first thing in the morning as we wake up. It's a beautiful time.
Starting with love and gratitude, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful.
At least doing our best to.
And taking piano lessons.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. Yeah.
I'm inspired. I think I'll start again. We are drawing to the end of our wonderful interview, which I've enjoyed so much. I wonder if you'd be able to tell the viewers what the gift is, the free gift that you're offering to them that'll be available on your page on my website.
Thank you. It's really awesome. It's called the Lifeline Healing Circle. It's a group Lifeline session.
Great.
The vision is world peace to InnerPeace, and it's people from all around the world that come together, and I lead through a collective Lifeline session. And it's interesting because I'm doing one session, but everyone will filter it through their own lenses and filters and gravity of what they're attracting in their life. And it really helps you to let go of the heavy baggage that you carry along from day to day, week to week, year to year, decade to decade.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a beautiful process. And if you click on the link, you'll get free access to a healing circle.
And there'll also be information about your website and the work you do and the courses that are available for people. So yeah, it'll open up a world for people who may not have heard of you before. I'm sure that many people have though. And I just want to say thank you so much for talking with us today and sharing your story and all the profound work you do. So I'll just like to end by saying peace and love and gratitude. Thank you so much, Dr. Darren.
Thanks, Julie. Peace and love and gratitude to you. I appreciate you being courageous and powerful in the world and sharing this with people so that they can see life through another lens and hope.
Thank you so much.